Hello everybody. Today we're going to go over a couple of positions with you, Salvador here and we're going to just show you the 5 best ways to strike if you're not really a big jiu-jitsu person, okay? First of all, strikers. I want you to know that getting on top and hitting somebody is the easiest thing to do. What you need to do is learn how to get in positions and how to defend from positions. So you can look up every position I'm going to talk about today, but I'm going to go through them quick, and I'm just going to talk about them, okay? One of the things you really have to worry about with a grappler is ending up on the bottom of the side and inside their guard, or many other things, especially if you're not a striker. I know being on somebody's back is great and all that other, and if you're really good at jiu-jitsu or wrestling, being on the back is great. But especially in MMA, kind of hard to like strike them from here. I mean, like, you can do this and you can kind of hit the body and whatever. It's not as great of a striking position as it is a submission position. So it's not going to make the top 5. The first one is the mount. Now again, the mount is a pretty simple idea, right? I sit on top, I have my knees here. If I can get the high mount, that's great. And if I can just rain down punches on them, that's the masterclass best way to do it, and that's the way bullies have been doing it forever. So that's where we want to end up first, probably. Okay, one of the next ones is, and again, you can look these up. Some people call it the gift wrap. We call it the TAC, or twisting arm control. That's what Gracie University and all those guys call it. This guy starts to run. We're just going to go through the hypothetical. There's a lot of reasons that he could end up this way. But he ends up on his side. If I can use my body to smash his arm down, pass his arm to my other hand, hold it, and then sit up tall, this is a wonderful place to be beating up. Okay, I can hit him like that, I can hammer fist him, I can pop him in the ear if I'm doing self-defense versus fighting. Now again, some things to think about. How to hold position. In that mount, just sitting on people isn't enough. You got to know how to keep your hooks in. And again, that's why you just can't decide, oh, I'll just hit some dude when I get on top of him. Because if they know how to grapple, it's not that simple. But here in this position, this is a great place to be. But if I'm kind of leaning forward and I don't have my kickstand in the back right and things like that, they can roll me. They start to keep rolling, I can take the back and whatever. But this is position number 2 that's great to end up in. Position number 3 is the triangle. Now the triangle is a great place to end up, but the triangle requires you have a little bit more experience. Now again, I know if you've been watching MMA for a while or training in MMA, oh, I can throw a triangle. You can throw a triangle, but can you throw a triangle on a grappler? Okay, so a lot of times, if I get up high in the mount and this guy starts getting his arm under or something like that, that's a perfect time to grab the head, roll him over, grab my ankle, and start working towards the triangle setup. Now, once I'm here, it's like just throwing pies at a clown in the carnival. I can just sit here and hit him. Now, I know you might say, bro, I'd break his arm, I'd triangle him, I'd put him in Americana, Kimura, all this other stuff. Absolutely, if you were a grappler. But this is a wonderful place to tire the other person out. Just holding a good triangle, keeping your position, moving back and away, and making it hard for them to get out and pop you up, that's going to tire a guy out. I've seen several cage matches where it works super well. Okay? So, we got the mount. We got TAC. Now we've got the triangle. Okay? You might say, hey, in the guard's a really good place to be to fight. No, in the guard is a really good place to defend if you're learning jiu-jitsu, because that's where they learn to defend from. It's not really a great place for a striker, okay? So, being in the side mount, again, you don't want to be this guy. But if I'm in the side, and if I'm here and I have a hold of him down here, and again, I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how to make a side mount. It's a whole thing of itself. You can look that up in a dozen other places. But what will typically happen is Salvador here will start pushing on my knee, or he'll bring his arms in. If he's a competitor and he's not really much of a self-defense or MMA guy, he'll do this. That's great. I'll just whoop on him. But most people, once you're here, you've got this arm isolated. You got this other arm under the head. If I really hold down, he's going to start pushing, pressing, whatever. Once that happens, I can slide my knee in over his arm, put my shin right there. I keep my other head down right here. This is a horrible place to be for this guy, because I'm just hanging out and now I can just start wailing on him. Okay, so this split position is wonderful. There's a lot going on here. I can come up, I can throw kimuras, I can spin, I can do arm bars, I can do a lot of stuff. And again, there's a lot going on to maintain this position. But it is a fantastic position to end up in if you're going to be a striker, okay? So don't just decide, you know what I might try on this one dude that does a little bit of jiu-jitsu? That's what they're waiting for. That's what they train for. You're a striker. You want to strike, okay? Throw some knees. Do something like that. So all those positions are great. And lastly, the best one to be in, and this is the most popular thing nowadays, stand up, okay? A lot of guys in Sanda, for instance, when they do their double leg, I'll use Salvador best I can. He doesn't stand up really good. When they double leg, they will stand up and double leg the guy and start throwing punches down on him. They won't go into a double leg down to the ground. Why don't you hear that a lot? Because grapplers are going to tell you to get to the ground, pin them down, tire them out. As a striker, you're going to want to put them down, hold them up, and just start beating on them, right? So, first, learn how not to end up in those bad positions. That's what you should be thinking about as a striker that's learning jiu-jitsu. If you're doing MMA and you're not worried about getting belts or being a high-ranking jiu-jitsu guy. Second, you need to learn how to hold those positions. So if you're not the bad guy, if you're on top, you can hold a mount. You can hold the TAC. Then third, think about striking. Lastly, you should be thinking about submissions. I know you want an awesome submission. Everybody does. But that's like a knockout punch. You don't just wake up throwing knockout punches. I don't care what stories you've heard. So keep training, keep working, come work with us or find somebody competent and just keep it up. Springfield Karate and Fitness, good luck to you.